So at 18 years old, heading off to college for the very first time, and had a really great first semester. The athletic department was going great. I was winning in football games. I had a great social campus life and was winning in track. It was a blast freshman year. And it wasn't until my sophomore year where everything changed. I didn't really do well in school. The challenges became a lot harder on the field because I had to prove the accomplishments that we were getting my previous year. The classes were harder, homesick was real, it was raining a lot, there was a lot going on during that second semester, to the point where I didn't really do well enough academically and put me on academic probation. At that time, I remember sitting in my dorm room reading these books that were so hard to comprehend at the time and thinking that, you know what, this school isn't for me. I'm far from home. I don't really belong. I don't really fit. I don't have the community that I thought I had. And school is hard. It's real. It was at that point where I realized that this probably wasn't the place for me. When I did go home eventually, that winter break, sitting really long on my parents' couch, processing what am I going to do for the next year? Am I going to go back to the school that I was struggling in, or am I going to stay home and find a new opportunity? So decided to go back to college, to the college that I came in, and actually give it a good old college try. Truly do the studying, truly say no to things, truly take a step back and really assess what exactly do I want this experience to look like, and what kind of story do I want to tell to the next generation and my future children about how to overcome barriers and challenges whenever they face it. If I think about my college experience, as I audited my mindset, audited the things I was inputting myself, when I kept saying that I'm not capable, that I'm not smart, that I don't have what it takes to excel in college, I had to really suspend those thoughts to say, this is not the story that I want to tell, and this is not the language I want to use to myself. So I had to change the way I spoke to myself to instill that belief within me. I had to audit my circle. I had to find and engage the voices that were already around me that said, Ray, you are competent and capable of excelling in college. You are a leader in this space that can overcome any challenges within your face. You are capable of handling and being able to prioritize your workspace and prioritize what you need to get successful, because we see the great things in you and you can do it. And then I had to audit the experiences, I had to audit the resources and tools around me to see what are the experiences that I've gone through that are similar to what I'm currently experiencing. I have faced troubling classes in the past in high school. So what were the tools that helped me succeed in those? How do I replicate that same type of template into this college space? How do I then say, what are new resources out there that I haven't tapped into that I can leverage to give me the expectation or give me the experience needed to overcome this barrier? I'm very grateful for the friends that I have and for the mentors in my life, because they really taught me that you can't run from your challenges. You can't run from the things that are going to trip you up. That's because that's life. How we overcome those defines our reality. How we overcome adversity defines our identity, defines our character, defines who we are. And any time that we come across a barrier or an issue, if we run from it, what does that say about us? What does that say about our ability to overcome a challenge? And if I run away from the hard things now, it will show that I will be able to run from hard things in the future when things are a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more dire. It was an opportunity to prove into my adulthood that I'm no longer a child and I'm coming into an adult, that I got to be able to face these things and challenge these things head on. And that doesn't mean you challenge them alone. You challenge them in community, you challenge them with support, you find the things necessary to get there. See, we have to take a really hard look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what is the story that we want to tell? And sometimes we have to really critique the things that we say to ourselves, because that can become the reality that it gets instilled into us and shapes our decisions and actions moving forward. If we tell ourselves that we can't do it, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to be able to do it. If we tell ourselves that we are not capable and don't have the skill sets to overcome that challenge, now 9 times out of 10, that perception is going to become a reality. But what if you were able to change the way that you spoke to yourself? What if you changed the way that you saw obstacles in your face as an opportunity to overcome barriers and overcome adversity to achieve the goals of success that you desire? And that all starts with our mindset. It all starts with what we say to ourselves. how we talk to ourselves is the most important conversation that we can have. And if we aren't really keen in on the words that we say and the words that we input into our minds, we begin to believe it and then we begin to act it out. So we have to do a really great job of capturing the thoughts that we have, the negative ones, the ones that trip us up, the ones that tell us that we can't do it, the ones that would say that we don't have what it takes to succeed, that we don't have what it takes to overcome a barrier. And we have to suspend that thought and ask ourselves, where is this thought coming from? And if we're able to transition that thought to one that says, you know what, I am capable, I am competent, I do have what it takes, that can give us the leverage we need to overcome that hump. That's number one. Number two is sometimes we may need to borrow the belief and borrow the words of others to help us overcome these things. And the great thing about our human experience is we live in a communal society. We don't do things alone. We shouldn't do things alone. So if we take the moment to borrow belief from our friends, from our mentors, from our significant others, from the elders around us, from the books that we read and the podcasts that we listen to, if we take an audit of what is around in our circles and what we are inputting into our minds, that can help shape the way that we see challenges, see initiatives and efforts in our community and around us, and give us the language and give us the power and the experience to say, you know what, I can do that. And we are people that is constantly learning and growing, and whatever happens in our way is not a finite experience. So we need to be auditing what we say to ourselves. We need to be auditing the inputs around us, and we need to be auditing the experiences that we've gone through, because those experiences in the past can be leveraged as tools and templates to give us the actions we need to move forward towards a barrier. So audit your mindset, audit your circle, audit your experiences. These 3 different audits can give you the expertise necessary to overcome any challenge and barrier that you're experiencing. But it all has to start with your mindset and your belief. You have to believe you can achieve it. You have to believe you can do it. And sometimes you got to be a little bit delusional in your belief in order for you to show up with confidence and show up with courage that you are capable of overcoming any type of barrier. The most important conversation you can have is with yourself. And I challenge you today to sit back and talk nice to yourself. Talk nice to your experiences. Talk nice to who you are, because that feeds into your character, and allow that to give you the insight you need and the excitement and that passion you need to step into the day-to-day, to your challenges and to your barriers, and say, you know what, I can't do it, I can't accomplish it, and we're gonna get it happen. So let me know what your thoughts are. What are the words that you're saying to yourself? What words do you need to be said to yourself on a daily basis? And let's encourage each other to show up with confidence, show up with grace, and overcome these barriers and challenges, and uplift ourselves to the next generation to be culture change leaders in our community.